Thank you, Leila. Can I ask Adrian Hirelainen-Trek to stand by, and I now call Dr. David Nicol, who is our PPC in Bromsgrove.
Conference. As Liberal Democrats, we should defend the UK's membership of the ECHR to the hilt. You either believe in the rule of law or you don't. Suella Braverman clearly doesn't. I can argue that as I'm originally from Northern Ireland, that withdrawing from the ECHR would risk the Good Friday Agreement and peace in Northern Ireland. It will. You either believe in the rule of law or you don't. Rather, I will argue that planned ECHR withdrawal by the Conservatives is part of a sustained attack by them on human rights legislation. Winston Churchill must be rolling in his grave. We must stand up for the ECHR. You either believe in the rule of law or you don't. I will let you into a secret. Sometimes politicians make political decisions that have nothing to do with the rule of law. For nearly 20 years, I've worked on human rights cases with the legal charity Reprieve. For over 10 years, I campaigned with many of the people here in this room for the return of British residents being held without charge in Guantanamo Bay. Conference, you will be aware that a number of British women and children are currently being held in detention without charge in northeast Syria, in a camp that has been described as Guantanamo in the desert. Conditions are inhumane and degrading. Most are children. My MP, Sajid Javid, when he was Home Secretary, made the decision to remove their citizenship. I believe that was a mistake. None of them have been charged with a crime locally, and the detention is unlawful, arbitrary, and indefinite. Reprieve's investigations indicate that more than 60% of the British women currently detained are likely victims of human trafficking, some when still children. To date, I am the only British doctor to have examined any of them. Ironically, Reprieve approached me about the case of Leila, that's a pseudonym by the way, that we used with the Sunday Times, nearly 2 years ago. I examined her twice, remotely. She's in her early 40s and has a son aged 5. She suffered a stroke and has epilepsy following a bomb explosion, which has left her significantly disabled. One of the most pathetic aspects of the consultation was watching her young son try and lift his mother's paretic right arm whilst examining her remotely. Such as the Foreign Office's intransigence, they have yet to reply to my medical report 2 years later. The most Kafkaesque and barbaric aspect is that the best thing that could happen would be if Leila died from a seizure. At least then, the UK would allow her son back to the UK. Britain's main allies have all repatriated most of their nationals from northeast Syria. More than 1,000 foreigners have been repatriated this year alone. As a neurologist, I believe Leila and her son are no threat to anyone. They should be returned to the UK to be cared for by a family. Clearly, if there is a criminal case to answer, this can be addressed in the UK. You either believe in the rule of law or you don't. Please, back this motion. Leaving the ECHR would be at odds with British values. Thank you.
Thank you very much.